What's up?
What's up guys, welcome to another video. So in this video, my initial plan was to talk about why Sonya is S tier, because I see a lot of downplay from some of my buddies in MK, some in Twitter and whatnot. They all keep saying, oh, Sonya is mid tier, she's not that good, when she was considered one of the best in the game before, and she only received a very baby nerf which really didn't change much. So that was my initial plan going into this video. Now, she's still extremely good. I'll consider her A+, maybe, S-, but she's actually not S tier. She actually has some issues that I didn't know she even had. But still, when it comes to this character, people are downplaying her way too much. She is a legit 50-50 character. From her back one string, the overhead comes out in 18 frames, and the low comes out in 17 frames. Now, you can technically fuzzy it if you're a computer. No human's gonna consistently do a 1 frame fuzzy. Now a 2 frame fuzzy, that's possible, very difficult, but if you practice at it, it can be done. But at 1 frame fuzzy, that ain't happening. She is a legit 50-50 character and she does ridiculous damage. So that's 371 damage with 1 bar. If she spent no bar, it would be 351. That's still really good. Off her lows, she don't get too much. She gets like 213. That's kind of whatever, but still, she gets really good damage from her 50-50s. And the thing that makes her kind of unfair is her zoning. Like, her projectile goes super fast. Startup is 12. I mean, it's not as fast as Johnny's, but whatever. Startup 12. She recovers pretty freaking quick. She can just spam these things, enhance it. If the second part of the enhance hits you, it's a crushing blow. In this particular variation, she has like these air projectile things like Sang Song stuff. So she has a lot of zoning. She's very oppressive, and then when she gets in, she can easily get you in 50-50s and do crazy damage. Now her mids are really bad. That's actually her biggest downside. But you see, she has her down 3, comes out in 7 frames. On hit, she's plus 10, and her back 1 comes out in 9 frames. Which means if she hits you with her down 3, she can jail into her overhead low string, so it's a guaranteed 50-50 once you get hit by her down 3. So you do have to worry about it. The hit itself is not a big deal, it's what mix-up that comes after it. And another string that's really good for Sonya is her 1-3-4 string. Now the thing is, her stand 1 looks like her back 1. So if you condition your opponent to where like you're doing overheads a lot, like you're staggering the overhead or whatever, you just throw this out. Her stand 1 and back 1, they have a similar animation. I mean, they're a little bit different, but in the heat of the moment, you process them the same. So if you think, oh, he's going to go for the overhead, then all of a sudden he does this string to get caught by the low. And you see how you got caught by that low into that special, which you can hit confirm because this is 3 hits. That did 244 damage. So this string is really freaking good and it complements her 50-50 game really well. Now in the corner, her damage is ridiculous. Now I'm using the variation with the cancels. I think this is her better one. So I have Liu Kang the block high. So this is what happens in the corner if you decide to block overhead thinking she's going to do the overhead string and then Sonya decides to do the low instead. So you see, you guessed wrong and you died. Now if you would have guessed low and she did the overhead one instead, she would have done pretty much the same damage. So Sonya's corner game is kind of retarded, her zoning is kind of retarded, and just even her mid-screen pressure game, because her pokes is so good, is kind of retarded. And she actually has decent mids to go along with it. Now her back 2 is like a really bad mid, but like she has forward 4, which is pretty decent, 10 frames, only -3. And then her forward 3 is pretty good too. On hit, it does a little combo attack that's like 100 damage, and on block, if you see, it's actually +1. Now, +1 isn't that much, but at least guarantees you can jail a poke or something like that. Then if they respect your poke, then you can go into your 50-50s or whatever. Point is, Sonya's a very good character. She's not low, mid-tier like I see in some tier lists. She's really good. Honestly, she's an S- to A+. I would go with any of that. Now, before labbing this character, I mean, I knew all her mids were pretty bad. But I thought her 50-50s if she used like the enhanced bar or used cancels or whatever, she can keep herself safe. That's actually not the case. Now, off her low, if she staggers it, she's safe, but she is -7. So you're guaranteed to lose your turn, but some Sonyas like to do the low and then they do the enhanced fireball. But the thing with the enhanced fireball though, the first hit is a high, so you're able to duck the high attack, and then before the enhanced even comes out, if you time your mid correctly, you can actually completely beat out Sonya. Now another thing a lot of good Sonyas do, they don't go into the full overhead string, like they don't commit to it like that, because they see it's -14, it's punishable, they don't want to get punished. So they try to hit confirm, they just do back 1-2 a lot. Now if you just stagger back 1-2, as you can see you're -9. That's not safe, you can actually get punished for it. But what some Sonyas do to try to mix you up is they do the enhanced fireball, or they do the fireball, and since you're respecting the enhanced version, Sonyas try to dash forward and try to do more mix-ups. Now the thing with enhancing Sonya's projectile in your face, there's actually a gap in there. Now yes, you can flawless block this, sure, but you don't even have to flawless block that. You can actually fully interrupt it. If you have a 8-frame attack, a 7-frame attack, you can totally interrupt it and stop the enhanced version of the fireball from coming out. And if she were to try to cancel, well, she's going to get hit, obviously, because she's dashing forward in your face and trying to press a button, so she's going to get smacked around. Now, when it comes to the overhead, you may be thinking, well, you have to guess then. You have to guess between punishing this stagger or punishing this. Yes and no. Now, yes, you would not be able to punish this stagger if you're getting ready to block the projectile. Because I've gone over this before. There's a tech in this game that you can press buttons at the same time you block an attack. So there's a certain option select with the string that you can do. So you block this. Let's say you have to read, it's an overhead, you're not gonna fuzzy the low. If you get hit by the low, you get hit by the low. I'm just saying, if you guess right on the overhead. So you block the overhead. Now what you do is, you press down poke at the same time you would have to block this. So let's say Sonya does this, just practice pressing poke at the same time that the projectile would hit you. Now, even if you do that, since this is only -9, you're not going to get a punish. Like, I tried it a bunch of different ways, it just wasn't consistent. Like, if I press the poke too early, this hits me, I press it at the right time, she's able to block. So I'm going to come back to that, there's a way to make that even better. But anyway, let's just say this, you poke after you block this, and then this is what you input at the same time you press poke. You press poke, and then you press 1, 2, 3, let's say if you're playing Liu Kang. So what does that do? So basically, if Sonya were to stagger this, you pressed poke at the time that you blocked it. So if she did not do it, your poke would come out. If Sonya were to do this into the enhanced version, because you're pressing poke and then you're pressing 1, 2, 3 with Liu Kang in succession. You're not blocking between. You press poke as the projectile hits you, and then you immediately press 1, 2, 3. And what that does is, if the opponent staggers this, it pokes. If they do the enhanced version of this, Liu Kang's 1, 2, 3 comes out and it punishes Sonya. But here's a way you can make that better. Instead of doing a poke, if you were playing Liu Kang, at the same time the projectile would hit you, you press forward 4 instead of just down 1. But this option select's even better. With Liu Kang, his forward 4 has 2 hits to it. So basically, if you see the forward 4 come out, you're able to hit confirm that, and then you can, go into your forward 4-3, whatever. You can do more of a string of Liu Kang because his has 2 hits and you can hit confirm it. But this option select is really good. Now Liu Kang could do it better than others, but every character can do something similar. And honestly, when I was doing it there, I was pressing forward 4 at the same time, I was blocking this attack. And once I visually saw that the forward 4 of Liu Kang did not come out, I immediately pressed 1, 2, 3. Because you don't want to press forward 4 with Liu Kang and then 1, 2, 3 at the same time. Because in this game, if you press like the first part of a string, you press some other buttons, and then you try to finish the string doesn't come out. You can actually react to it as you saw me do. And all you're reacting to is your move not coming out, and then you press 1, 2, 3 right away. Now it's easier with a mid because the mid's much more telegraphed. Now if you're doing a poke, you might as well just do poke until 1, 2, 3. There's no real harm there because you're not really finishing the string of a poke anyway. But the point is, her overhead, you could always make it either completely punishable if she's trying to be smart to make it safe, or for sure take back your turn. Now, of course, only do this if you're fighting like a really good Sonya, because some Sonyas that are not really that good, they just let the whole string rip, and you know the whole string is completely punishable. And now I did mention earlier that the low that the projectile whiffs, so let me show you that right now. So basically, all the times you see Sonya, you know, going in your face, doing this, trying to counter the projectiles, going to the high-low, another overhead mix-up or whatever, or if they do the low into projectiles to try to create some space, all that stuff is fake. There's option selects and ways to deal with it. And once you take that away, now you may not be able to always punish Sonya, like if she staggers this and you do the option select, you're not going to punish it, but you can punish it if you read it. And in the low itself, it's -7. Now again, you're not going to punish it, but once you take away the option with her EX Fireball, and you basically don't let her cancel and get away with it anymore, that takes away a lot of her offense. And it makes her more of a true 50-50 character. She goes for a 50-50, she guesses wrong, either she dies or you get to start your pressure. She doesn't get to keep pressure using bar, all that crap is completely fake. And before I started making this video, I thought that was the case, but I like to lab a character and everything. I don't want to say, oh, she's S tier without actually looking more into it. So yeah, she's still really freaking good. Her zoning is too much. Her damage is kind of crazy, but there are characters that are better than her, like legitimately. She's not a flawless character like some of these other individuals like Mr. Liu Kang over here. So yeah, that's about it for Sonya. She's really freaking good, A tier. She's not S tier, but guys, stop the downplay. She's still freaking really good. She should be used in tournaments more often, to be honest. Like, she's freaking very tournament viable. She's like, honestly, a better version of Sub-Zero if you think about it. Her 50-50s have a lot more damage. They're a lot safer because not everyone knows how to do all this crap. And even if you do all this crap, you won't always punish Sonya. So she's not mid-tier. She's like low-high tier, I would say. Or if you want to say she's mid-tier, she's like the best of mid-tier. Well, anyway, guys, that's about it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. And I'll see you guys next time.